Hello, my name is Kavous. I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Lausanne. I'm happy to share our work about participatory design with young adults to fight multiparty privacy conflicts in online social networks. Let's begin by clarifying multiparty privacy conflicts, or MPCs. Imagine yourself at a party. You took this picture from your friends. Would you share it on Facebook? Would you ask your friends their permission before posting it? Research shows that many people usually don't think much before sharing, and they even share without asking permission. Sharing photos or videos of other people without obtaining their consent can harm their privacy, and it causes MPCs. MPCs are too frequent. Most of the social network users reported experiences an MPC at least once in their social media use. MPCs can cause mild or severe consequences. For the mild MPCs, some users may worry because they don't look good in the shared content. They might also have concerns about private information that can be disclosed. On the other hand, MPCs with severe consequences cause public shaming, cyberbullying, or discrimination. The most extreme case and the dark side of MPC is revenge pornography, where it can lead to traumatic situations such as suicide after the content becomes viral. So what has been done till now to fight MPCs? Overall, there are two types of solutions. The precautionary strategies are technical approaches that use computational techniques to modify the photo or limit the audience. And the dissuasive approach are persuasive techniques to deter MPC infringers from sharing. Despite these solutions, however, the existing research does not necessarily consider users' real-life MPC experiences. To address this gap, we use the participatory design approach. For this purpose, we borrowed a justice framework to guide our participatory design practices. We explore 5 existing strategies in justice systems. Deterrence, which is the threat of punishment to avoid a crime before it happens. Incapacitation is limiting the physical capacity of offenders to avoid committing a crime. Rehabilitation, that is re-educating offenders to overcome factors that have led them to commit a crime. Restoration, that is a mediation between victims and offenders to repair the harm. And retribution, which is the most traditional strategies built on the principle of an eye for an eye. First, for the rest of the presentation, we will refer to MPC infringers for those participants who reported having caused an MPC. An MPC subject for those who reported having suffered from an MPC. This figure shows the study protocol. We only recruited participants with MPC experiences. We assigned them into 2 groups, 13 participants as MPC subjects and 13 as MPC infringers. Also, literature showed that young adults are the most vulnerable groups for MPCs. Therefore, we only recruited young participants. Each participant attended 2 study sessions organized on 2 distinct days. The sessions involved 4 main activities: focus group, storyboarding, value ranking, and mutual evaluation. At the focus group activity, we asked the participants to create a list including the pros and cons of the justice strategies, considering how they could be adapted to the MPC context. We grouped our participants in different subgroups and asked them to brainstorm and discuss the pros and cons. Next, we started storyboarding. We asked participants to create technological solutions to address MPC. We let each subgroup freely decide which of the justice concepts to use to build their solution. As a result, we collected 21 design solutions. Next, in the value ranking activity, we asked all participants to review all the storyboards and write their comments. After participants left the session, we organized a design review meeting where we reviewed the design solutions. We reviewed the positive and negative remarks collected via sticky notes and discussed those remarks. As a result, we selected 10 solutions. Finally, for the second session, we conducted mutual evaluation activity where we collected feedback from the opposite types of participants. So what did we find? Based on participants' discussion during the focus group activities, we identified 3 main themes. Most of our participants mentioned that sanctions should be adapted to the seriousness of the committed offense. For example, participants found incapacitation too hard and restoration too soft, as it does not include any penalty. But for severe MPCs, participants mentioned that incapacitation could be effective. Most of the participants agreed that rehabilitative and restorative strategies would be useful, but they also reported that such strategies might fail if MPC infringers do not cooperate. The participants mentioned that some MPC infringers could use these light approaches as a way to cover up the issue. They suggested that such approaches should always be combined with punitive strategies. Last, our participants highlighted the importance of taking the MPC subjects into account. They found restoration useful as it can involve MPC subjects and enable them to receive an apology. This indicates that simply punishing MPC infringers is not enough to address MPCs. For the sake of time, I will not explain details of each solution. Please check the solutions and participants' feedback in our paper. Instead, I discussed a high-level summary of the design solutions. About half of the solutions address MPCs with severe consequences, such as cyberbullying or revenge porn. The remaining solutions address MPCs that could have mild consequences. We found that the design solutions mostly targeted at MPC infringers to make them aware of the consequences of their actions and to dissuade them. However, in several cases, participants recognized the importance of involving MPC subjects in resolving the conflict. For example, one solution was designed for MPC subjects to help them find non-consensual content where they appear. Two solutions provided absolute prevention by enforcing MPC infringers to ask for consent before they could be allowed to publish. 6 storyboards used dissuasive strategies to deter MPC infringers, and 2 solutions provided damage control support after MPC occurs. We also identified 3 forms of supports. The psychological support is about helping stakeholders reflect, empathize, and elaborate. The legal approach is about helping stakeholders collect consent or produce legal evidence. And the educational support is about helping stakeholders through training. Considering the use of justice framework, for deterrence, the solutions inform MPC infringers about the legal consequences and trigger MPC infringers to report them to law enforcement authorities. For incapacitation, the solutions limit MPC infringers' access to social network. For restoration, participants suggested forcing both sides to resolve the conflict in advance and by encouraging MPC infringers to make an apology to the MPC subjects. 2 solutions use rehabilitation using in-person psychological support and by using an online training course and exam. None of the design groups used retribution as they thought it could create more problems than it solves. Last, in terms of technology, most of the solutions use automatic recognition algorithms to detect MPCs. Other techniques relied on non-automatic strategies, including compulsory tagging and report-based flagging. Furthermore, several solutions proposed to deter the infringer through warning messages. 2 of the design solutions require either a human mediator or an agent-based mediator. Almost all solutions require integration with social networks, but in several cases, the design solution would require integration with a third-party organization. At the end of this study, we identified a workflow based on the design solutions. This workflow has 3 main steps, including detection, processing, and outcome. We also created a meta-solution by using different elements of the workflow. We called it Dimetra. Please check out our paper for more details about Dimetra. To conclude, we did the following contributions. We conducted the first user-centric design work that involved young social network users in the design process. We provided design ideas that informed the future privacy-preserving techniques in online social networks. And we presented solutions with different mechanisms, including preventing MPCs, dissuading users, resolving the conflicts, and educating users. Thank you very much for your attention.